Hey guys, you are listening to episode 10 of the Creative Talk podcast. In today's episode, me and James sit down and talk about our big financial purchases. We both have bought our dream cameras, which is the 6K Pro and the FX6. Also, we talk a little bit about the RS2 and real estate in the video world. Okay, so me and you, James, we just dropped some money this year.
We did.
Got some new toys to play with. Well, actually, I'm still waiting on my toy, but you've had yours for a little bit now.
Yeah, I've had mine.
What did you buy?
About maybe about 2 months. I don't know. I lost track of time. But yeah, so I bought the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro, and man, whenever you tell somebody that you got that camera, that's such a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. So why'd you go with the Pro version? Are you a professional over the regular 6K?
Absolutely.
Because you're professional. You can't buy the regular 6K if you're not professional, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
you have to have that Pro. But no, so the 6K didn't have the built-in ND filters, and I don't have a bunch of NDs for my lenses as of yet. So I was like, you know what? Let me just wait, because if you remember, I was about to pull the trigger on getting the 6K, and
you were. I think you mentioned it here on the podcast too.
Yeah, and then the Pro came out like, I don't know, like 2 weeks or so after we talked about it, and I was like, oh my goodness, something told me to wait.
Yeah.
So
I would have been so mad, and you would have been too.
Oh, for sure.
I
mean, that extra, I think it's like extra $500 or something like that for the Pro versus the regular 6K. But yeah, I for the NDs, I mean, basically for shooting outside, I've only shot outside with it like one time, and that's when I first got it to go outside. But man, those NDs help so much.
I bet.
But I don't know, and plus, I just really wanted to start shooting Blackmagic RAW.
Yeah.
Like
so how is that?
Things. It is so nice.
It is.
Like
I fell in love with it.
That interview that I was shooting, I looked at the footage the other night, and obviously, none of it's usable right now, but it was so great. It was so good just to be able to punch in and see all the detail.
Yeah.
But second here. Yeah, and the other thing is the battery grip, which I haven't purchased just yet. How, I mean, I guess other cameras do have battery grips, but I don't know. And the nice thing about the 6K Pro is like it's very heavy, as you know, when you went around the other when we did that interview. And
I got my hands on it for a few minutes, but
I can only and it's so nice because you're not you don't have that light camera where you're just you see every little jitter if you're doing handheld. It's very, very nice and heavy. It's like holding a brick, but it's all right.
Yeah, it's a nice brick though.
Oh,
you had the 18 to 35 on it when I had it too, and I don't know. It's a nice. So I have the 4K. Obviously, I complain about it all the time. The 4K. It's definitely a love-hate relationship, but it's the first thing I noticed when you let me shoot on it. Let me just mention our experience with it, or my experience with it. We were shooting an interview for a project we can't talk about just yet, but this interview, and then we were shooting some B-roll around, and just holding that thing. The first thing I noticed when I needed to film low was that screen.
The screen, the tilt screen.
That screen. Oh my gosh. Yes. And because of that, with the Sigma 1835, it felt like, I don't know how to explain it without showing you, but the holding the lens down and having that flipped up, it just felt like you're kind of like when you hold a baby out in front of you.
Yeah.
Right. You cradle a baby. It's like that. And it was just felt so comfortable, filming like that with that screen. I was like, man, if my 4K just had that screen, that would just make a huge difference.
Yeah, because
I don't know.
I mean, which would be really nice is eventually, I don't know, I kind of want to eventually, I probably will get the RS2 and be able to shoot that low mode and then be able to flip the screen up and see it from the ground.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. We gotta get your 6K Pro on the RS2 and see how it
Yeah.
does. But and then not while we're on the screen, the next thing I noticed, well, actually, this was the first thing I noticed was the quality of that screen was amazing. And I had the 4K, and the 4K and the regular 6K have the same size screen.
Yeah.
But that 6K Pro, I swear, it's bigger.
Yeah.
It is. It's definitely bigger.
Huge.
I don't know how much bigger it is, but I didn't know that. I thought it was the same just by looking at pictures of it. But it is massive and it's clear. It is, I don't know. It was a joy to shoot with, to put it down for to shoot the interview and just really, I don't know. It feels like you're watching it on a small big screen.
Yeah, because I'm used to shooting with the the Canon. Well, I never really did video with the Canon, but shooting with the GH4, like that has a tiny screen, so it's going from that to the 6K Pro. I was like, oh my gosh, it's life changing.
Yeah, when I got my 4K, I just remember being amazed by the screen. But that 6K Pro screen is something else. I also remember when I was filming around, I was asking you if you'd brought any NDs on that shoot for your lens. And the look you gave me, you're like, it's got built-in NDs. I don't remember what you said exactly, but I just remember you were like, are you really asking that? Like, we just freaked out over this camera. And I did. I completely forgot about that. And it's so unique to push that button and just watch that flip.
Yeah, literally, like, just the press of a button. Yeah, it's really
that
nice.
was easy. And I'm coming from, I have tons of screw on. I have cheap screw on NDs too. I need to upgrade, but I have the Polar Pro matte box now. I've been using that I love it, but like having that big old bulky thing at the end of your lens and those giant pieces of glass, it's nice, but that built-in is more convenient than you would ever think.
Yeah.
Way more convenient. But
so
you're going to return it?
What's that?
I said, are you going to return it? Or are you keeping it?
I think I'm thinking about returning it, but no, I'm just kidding. It's so funny because the main reason when my girlfriend and I decided to sell my car, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use the money for that. So that's what I ended up doing.
Oh, you sold your car for that?
Yep. Well, mainly to pay it off, actually. So yeah, because using the B&H card, I was like, yeah. And it's a good thing that, man, I can get myself in trouble with that B&H card.
Yeah. You can be smart with credit cards, but they can get you in trouble.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I thought about. I have a couple extra cars that I need to either fix up or sell, but I thought about doing that too. Like, you know what? But I can get just enough out of this to buy a new camera.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, after playing with your 6K, I definitely would want to sell. Honestly, I was thinking about selling both my 4Ks for a 6K, but it's just nice. It was just nice to have that all there and like to have that built-in ND, that beautiful screen. I don't know what else does it have. That's it's 6K. Forget about the highlight. The thing in this name is 6K, and some people may say like, "What do you need 6K for?" But people who actually film or have edited know how useful extra resolution can be, and I would use the crap out of that. Yeah, I'm always punching in or stabilizing.
How long do the batteries, like the one single battery for the 4K last?
Oh, on mine. So if I didn't have it on a V-lock right now or plugged into the wall, I probably get 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, so that's another thing is that the one battery in the 6K Pro lasts like about an hour, if not just a tidge over.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know that interview we shot, and we talked the interview itself, and I know we had the camera on for framing and lighting, and then it was on again for the duration of the interview, and that was about a 25-minute interview, almost half hour or so, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, yeah, it was 20 or over, I think. We'll just say somewhere just under a half hour, I think. But that's just the interview. I know it was on for probably 45 minutes, close to an hour between setup the interview and then walking around with it, shooting all that B-roll for
Yeah.
the rest of the night. So yeah, I think it was probably 45 minutes. I don't know what the battery's at when I was done with it, but
Yeah, it makes me
it's
wonder, when I get that battery grip, like, between the camera itself, the battery grip, and the lens, man, how heavy is that gonna be?
it's gonna be pretty heavy, but I don't think it'd be heavier than what like my 4K right now with that
Oh,
Sigma. It sucks is the lens makes a huge difference too,
mhm. Yeah.
But I put a V-lock on the back. I have rails and the V-lock on the back. It's super heavy. So then when I put the 18 to 35, it balances it out, but almost doubles the weight. So it's like overall, it sucks. And then I've put, a smaller cine lens on that I have. It's just really off balance. But usually I like to go small lens with what's that brand? Core. I can't
Mhm.
remember. I'm looking at it right now and I can't see the brand, but that Core V-lock that mounts on the bottom. I have that. And I like mounting on the bottom. But the reason why I use rails still and mount it on the back is because when I have an 18 to 35 on the front, it's just so front heavy and I need to balance it.
Mhm.
Because I do a lot of top handle shooting, which means I have to have a gigantic monitor or something on
Yeah.
top, which adds more on the 4K. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think I remember when I told you, that I figured out how to balance the 6K Pro on the original Ronin.
yeah,
They did say that you won't be able to use the battery grip, which I guess that makes sense because then that would just make it too heavy for the Ronin, I
yeah.
guess.
I mean, those are the Sony MPF batteries. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's a little bit of weight.
Yep. So I was like, "Ah, that's fine." I mean, um, there's was it B&H? I think it was B&H. They have everything that I need to get for it except the motor that you put on it to be able to, use the wheel to focus. They
For what? Which one?
it's to put it's like a little motor with a little wheel on it to be able to attach to
For
the,
the Ronin?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes.
That's literally the only thing they don't have in stock, and it doesn't say
Oh,
when they'll be back, and I'm like,
it, it's that little wheel that goes on the side, right?
mhm,
The little
yeah,
side. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
I almost got that. I currently all I have and used before I got the RS2 was the Nucleus Nano.
mhm,
But yeah, the little one after getting the Nano and using it mainly on my Ronin, I was like, man, I would much rather have that little wheel and
yeah,
that tiny motor that would do the trick. But
mhm.
the Nano is convenient too if I have a weird funky rig where I can't really reach around to the lens or something. But
Yeah, there's been quite a bit actually that, has been, like, out of stock that have been, like, little things here and there for equipment-wise, and I'm just like, "Oh, well, okay." And just,
yeah,
check back later, you know? Oh, man.
yeah. Well,
So
that's what I was gonna get the tilt to float,
uh
and I had that on. I was on like every waiting list, and I even emailed Tilta. I was like, hey, when are these? And was just waiting. And they said it'd be like 2 months. 2 months went around. I didn't really see any. I may have missed them, but I was on kept my eye on them. I never got any notifications. But then yeah, I was gonna put the original Ronin on the tilt to float. And if anybody listening to this is waiting to put their regular or the original Ronin S on the tilt to float, I wouldn't wait on that. I would just go ahead and get the RS2 because
mhm,
the RS2 is I don't know how to explain it. I seen a video. I can't remember who reviewed it on YouTube, but they called it. The title was like the RS2. This changes everything, but nothing at the same time, and that's the
yeah.
best way to put it because it's really on paper nothing new, really, but like usability.
Dude, it's
It
so
feels
light. It's
yes, it's
so
so light.
light.
That screen is so nice to not have to use your phone for anything. It's
Mhm,
super nice to use the analog. The algorithm, I noticed a difference with that. The new algorithm with the stabilization. I used the same rigs for my Ronin and then went over to the RS2 and it just seemed way smoother. It
okay.
seemed way more easier to control. Um, the handles, I don't know, the grip feels better. It just truly feels like the original Ronin S was just a prototype to the RS2.
Mhm.
It really does. Did I tell you I sold
Yeah.
my RS2? Did I tell you that sold?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Or
you
my,
did.
not my RS2, my original Ronin S I sold.
Because you sold all the parts with it too, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. All the counterweight stuff. But yeah, I I got the RS2 and I was like, there's absolutely no way I'm ever going to go back and use that original Ronin again. And I was like, I was keeping it as a second one in case I needed 2 shooters or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not really sure what I do where I need two gimbals
Two people
running at once. And I thought, even if so, I'm just going to buy another RS2 because that thing is just amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. But I really want to try that 6K Pro on there with that too.
Yeah, same.
And there's that got that LiDAR autofocus. That what's it called? Is it called the Raven Eye autofocus? I don't remember what DJI calls it. But I bought the bundle that came with the Raven Eye transmission on the phone, which is pretty cool. And what I've seen people do with this, and I think we're gonna end up using this for an upcoming film we're shooting, is you put your phone on the tripod, mount it onto the tripod head on a fluid head, and then you can have someone walking around the Ronin, and they're getting a live feed on their phone as a monitor on their tripod with the fluid head, and then they can tilt, and do whatever with that fluid head, and it's got that gyro data where it's called Mimic. That's what it's called, Mimic, where you hold your phone like you've seen people with their phone move their phone around.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you do that, and then put your phone on a fluid head tripod, so you get the natural smoothness, with the phone mount on top of the tripod. And I've seen people do this online. I'm like, that's gonna be awesome to have somebody monitoring that and still doing the camera movement on top of somebody actually hand holding the gimbal, so they can just focus on moving, staying stable, and the person at the tripod can be seeing the shot and just slowly panning around and keeping something in the center frame or on the thirds or something like that. That's something always difficult with the gimbal. If you want to keep something on the thirds and either rotate or anything like that, it's very tough.
Dang.
But yeah,
wow.
I mean, it opens up a lot. But
no kidding what the RS2 can do.
Yeah,
it makes you wonder where can they go from here.
I don't know. And I've been saying that we've been saying that
we have for the past 2 years.
2 years with our, what is this? What episode is this?
I think it's 11.
11.
But sure,
yeah, we're still friends in between the episodes and we talk. But
yeah, every day.
Yeah, I always say like, what's next? And they always come up with something. Like technology is mind blowing in that way. And I was watching DD just released their new. I don't know if you've seen this. DD just released their new version of the Rode Wireless Go.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah,
but I was like looking at that and I'm like, man, I wonder what filmmakers are, were there only filmmakers and not content creators, 10 years ago, well, not 10, probably 20 years ago, there was probably only filmmakers. So that kind of tools wouldn't exist. But I just think like, what is the next 10 years in our industry going to look like in 10 years from now? What kind of stuff are we going to have? What is a gimbal going to look like in 10 years? What wireless audio setups will we have in 10 years? I always think about that.
Yeah, it's so funny because I was watching this one of these videos and they were talking about how like the new iPhone 13 Pros that are coming out, they were like so good with that cinematic mode that they have now. And
yes,
it's insane. They're like, it's not going to replace your big like film cameras, but honestly, the better and better that phones get, the more and more these, smaller DSLRs might, go by the wayside a little bit.
Yeah, I heard this was a video of Danny. Man, I'll have to link it in the description because it was a really good video. Danny, I can never remember his last name. Gravitz or Grant, I don't know. Love the guy, and I feel bad because I watch his stuff and I can't remember how to pronounce his name. Anyways, he brought up a really good point about mobile filmmaking in this world, and like, should people like me and you worry about people who have phones, who are creating stuff on their phones? And here's an example. A realtor hired me to shoot some real estate, and I shot it. And then like, I later seen him posting more videos that as he was shooting on his phone later. And I'm like, oh, well, like his phone's good enough for him, even though I can tell the quality's nothing compared to what I did for him.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't nothing bad. He paid me and everything. It was not, but it just was like, he's content with his phone. So like, is that an actual worry that people can just use their phone? Are they taking work from us or taking away the skill behind the camera? And what Danny goes on to talk about is No, the whole video, he goes on it way better. But the topics he basically said was, he used the example of football. Football in America. Well, he talked about soccer too. I'm not going to get too, you know what? If you want to see it all, go watch the video, but I'm going to sum it up. But like football there's millions and millions and millions, billions of dollars into that here in America, right? Football, because everyone is aware of it and knows about it. And, you're going to be, if you're more likely to be successful to go play football here in America than you are trying to be a pro soccer player.
Yeah.
And I'm horribly bringing this around, but he brought that around to talk about how more people are buying phones based on the cinematic quality and video stuff, even though they're not professionals like
Yeah, most
filmmakers,
definitely.
which is just making the world basically be more aware of people like me and you. So it's like a positive thing.
Yeah.
So people are more aware of content creation and knows that this is a thing the world's moving in. And people in the filmmakers are probably more likely to be found or hired because they know it's important. So my thought is too on like the guy who's not going to hire someone like, oh, I'll just shoot that on my phone. Probably wouldn't have had the budget to pay you what you're worth anyway if he didn't have his phone that was good enough for him. He wasn't willing to spend the money on that quality. Because if you absolutely wanted quality content, you would hire professionals to do it. You're not going to shoot it on your phone, no matter how good that phone looks. You are not. You can shoot on your phone. Yeah, you can get good stuff that you need. Maybe if that's good enough for you, that's fine. But like I said, the people that are using their phone because it's good enough for them are people that weren't going to hire someone to shoot anything for them anyway.
Yeah, and that's like with like real estate.
Hey, I'm interrupting this episode to remind you guys that if there's any topics you want to hear us discuss, or you yourself are creative and want to be on our podcast, you can email us at thecreativetalk@absorbproductions.com. We're always looking to expand the topics, and we'd love talking to creatives in any industry, whether it's filmmaking, photography, or if you do anything in the creative field. We'd love to hear from you. The email again is thecreativetalk@absorbproductions.com. Now I'll let you get back to the episode.
That's kind of like what I wonder, like how that will go with the phones. Like you said, I mean, there will be like, I don't know, like I've been searching around for like, like real estate gigs and stuff like that. But I wonder that like, are these people that are putting the houses like on the market and everything? Are they just doing things with their phones, or
I mean, they probably are.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because I don't really see a lot of need videographers or photographers for real estate. I don't really see. Do you guys get that at all very much?
No, actually, I got a. I don't want to say nothing yet for sure, but I'll just use this as an example. But Caitlin, at the university she went to, IU, she's goes in and does these talks for there's a teacher she's friends with. She teaches interior design, but Caitlin's not an interior designer at all. But as UX and design in general, she comes in and talks on certain topics. She'll come in and speak in front of the class. Well, they're actually doing an interior design where they go around hospitals right now, and they're asking me if I can go in and do like walkthrough videos of the interior design. Actually, that's for an interior design class at the university or whatever. But I don't know the details on that. That was actually just mentioned to me today. But I did do videos for a company that does they specialize in designer furniture. So they had all these model apartments that they partner. I think they partner with I think I could be wrong, but I think they partnered with certain apartment complexes, and they come in and design with furniture and stuff. So like luxury furniture. So it's like really nice when you get there. So I worked for them, not the apartments or the real estate, nothing like that. It was the designers that hired me to come in and film the what they did with the place, like their furniture, their little details, their plants, the way they laid the place out. Like it was more the layout and the way they designed the place. That's what it was. So I got gigs like that. But when it comes to real estate, well, where I'm located, there's really nobody willing to pay anybody to do a walkthrough video. I've done photos here and there, but those, I don't know, they're not really worth it what they're willing to pay.
Yeah, that's fair.
You definitely got to be doing I don't know, even the $500,000 houses still
Oof.
people.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
really.
think about 500,000 and up. I mean, if you got to do some small, because first of all, you don't want to be filming those crappy houses anyway that are
Oh, yeah,
just tight
definitely
and
not.
real narrow. It's like, how do I make them
Mhm.
look pretty? Or they just have bad lighting, small windows. It's the big houses. So the bigger houses, the bigger jobs are actually easier in a way. You have more to work with and there's more to show. But
Mhm.
yeah, I did one with a smaller house once and I was like, well, I was here for like 20 minutes and kind of got everything.
Oh, wow,
I don't
yeah.
know what else, like it's just, and it's hard. It's tough with some of those rooms are real tough. Like, I don't know what there is to really show other than like a slow pan of the room.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, I don't think real estate is a big part of my business
Yeah,
personally, but
yeah,
yeah,
that's
but I do
understandable.
know that I do know of people who make a living only doing real estate. I mean, the
Yeah,
market's
that's
there. I just don't know where.
right.
Um,
And
and
especially
I
at
think
times like
it's the
this when the housing market is going
yeah,
through the roof.
yeah, uh, yeah, but yeah, and I don't the 4Ks. I don't know. I did a real estate video with the 4K, and it was kind of tough. I don't have a lot of wide angle lenses. First of all, it's micro four thirds, so you
Yeah.
really need wider. But I have the SLR Magic 8 mm, and that's my widest lens, and it's actually a 16 mm. So I had a 16 mm. It's a fixed f. Oh, I can't remember. I think it's f4, which is a micro four thirds. I think it's like an f8 or something. I don't know. Just horrible low light. So
Mhm.
it's wide, low distortion. I love that. Has some chromic aberration, but not horrible. And yeah, it's just super bad in low light.
You know what
But
I
yeah, it was
wanna
tough doing
do?
real estate on that.
You know what
What?
I wanna do is get, like rent at, like, I don't know, like a 600 millimeter and put it up s s put that on the 6K Pro and see what what I can get with that.
Oh, it'd be amazing. That's something I want to do. I really, 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 really want to do. We should go camping or something
Yes.
and
Yeah, I would definitely be down.
rent
Mhm.
some wildlife lenses and go out. Actually, I have like it's not a physical list, but I have this like mental list of animals I want to photograph or film.
Mhm.
Like I want to go. Just I don't know. I think this stuff seems fun. I watch all those behind the scenes of like Animal Planet and stuff, and it looks amazing. But
Yeah,
I would love to rent.
I was, like, super curious the other day. I was like, "Hmm." I was like, "What do you have to do?" Like, what kind of experience do you have to be, like, a photographer or a videographer for, like, Nat Geo and places like that? And, um, the minimum for Nat Geo and I think Discovery maybe too, or Discovery Plan or something like that, was, like, 10 years. Like, that was, like you had to have, like, a bunch of experience, and I mean, obviously, your portfolio had to really show too, but,
Yeah,
yeah, it was not.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. Yeah, I think your portfolio can speak more than your actual
Oh,
years of
I for
experience,
sure
but
think too, and that's why I was kinda curious, like, why did they, like, "Oh, 10 years experience," like, I don't know.
maybe they're just trying to weed some people out who just
Yeah.
think that hey, I can rent a 600 mm lens on my 6K. Hire me
Right.
for. But man, those people, that looks hard. A lot of the stuff looks miserable. The terrain, the weather, the
Yes.
stuff they go through. Yeah, but
Yeah, I think
yeah,
they
that looks tough.
get paid pretty decently, like, because I think
I
they go
would
on
hope
contracts.
so.
Yeah.
I was watching. I can't remember which one it was. I was watching one guy. He was trying to film a monkey, and they were going through this jungle, and these monkeys were swinging. They had one guy carrying the lens, one guy carried the camera, one guy carried the tripod, and they had this like whole system they would do real quick. Be like, oh, there's one. The guy would run up, slam the tripod down. The guy would come up, mount the camera. The guy would put the lens on. Like they were just this trio
Wow.
were like this quick in sync. Like I don't know. Remember
It's
like
like
military,
freaking
like running up.
NASCAR, like, trying to put all the
Yeah,
wheels.
yeah. And then when they gotta move,
That's
same thing. They reverse it.
crazy.
They pop the lens off, take the camera off, move pick the tripod up, and they move over to. And it just was they had to assemble
Wow.
and reassemble this thing. But yeah,
Huh.
it looks tough. I would love to
There's
experience that though.
absolutely, there's always a method to the madness.
Yeah, actually, it was in that I was watching. They had the GH4s. I seen they were GH4s. They may have been GH5s. I can't remember. Anyways, GH4 or GH5 for sure. And they had them in those. I don't know what they're called, but I want to get them. Those wildlife lock boxes. You put the camera on a tree, you lock them in. The lens kind of sticks out, and then I want to know like what kind of storage they're using because they gotta have some kind of external storage that the thing's reading to,
Wow.
and then they have to have like a I don't know what kind of batteries they're using inside this box to power that thing for nights at a time, and they come
Yeah.
back and check the footage. I think that's pretty cool. I'd love to go do that
Gee.
somewhere, but
Wow.
just leave that out and But
Right.
yeah, I think it'd be cool. That's something we should do sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's simple enough to like just go film a deer
Right.
just from far,
Yeah.
get some cool detail shots of like a deer. Yeah, that'd be really fun.
Makes you appreciate the craft a lot more.
Oh yeah, especially when you watch this behind the scenes, like I was
Well,
watching that jungle thing looked so miserable. Them trying to assemble that camera.
that's funny because like when I was doing that interview for the endo doc, that was my friend Hannah's first time ever being interviewed, and she was just like, we got like, I don't know, we were like 2.5 hours in, and she was like, okay, I have a newfound respect for what you guys do.
Yeah,
I
it
was
is.
like,
I mean,
yeah, yeah, I told you that wasn't easy.
no, it's. I remember showing up when I show up. I just did a wedding. I shot it like they wanted it shot like The Office, so I had a bunch of interviews set up. And when I was over there, they said that they felt like they were on a reality show when I had the whole setup of the camera stuff because I don't know what they were expecting though. Like they're like, "Whoa, this is a lot of stuff.
How
This is
did
some
that
serious
go?
business." I think it went well.
Did
Went
it
better
go?
than I
Okay,
thought.
yeah.
The bridal party was definitely more on board than uh past ones I've done where they wanted to do this. Like
Oh,
you need
okay.
everyone on board.
Oh yeah,
There was
you
no
have to.
script or nothing, but like the groom ripped his pants. Not the groom, I'm sorry, the groomsmen. One of them ripped his pants in one of the poses for photos we were doing. So Caitlin was doing the photos and I was doing the video, but so like that was a topic everybody was talking about. Um, Apparently, like before the ceremony, a homeless guy walked up to them and just peed his pants and walked away. So
What?
so
Dang! So they have
so
these
so there
like
was stuff to talk about, but
interviews for
yeah,
that is awesome.
but yeah, it went well. But yeah, and I remember showing up and doing some of my first interviews, my first bigger clients for that. I was been sitting around just doing interview. And every time I showed
Mhm.
up, I don't know what the client reached out to them and set the time for the interview, and they just gave me a name and a location. So
Okay. Mhm.
I would show up and name, date, location, and then I would show up there. And I was sitting up, and I remember this one woman was like, "Next," I had my light set up, my camera still goes, "Next thing, you're gonna have one of those boom mics in my face, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, like
Yeah,
right
well,
there."
got one
So
right here.
yeah. Um, But anyways, yeah, that's just funny. But yeah, gear and the 6K, that's back to that 6K, that it
Yeah.
just seems like makes things easier. And the longer I've been doing this professionally, gear like that excites me. And I always see people like leaning towards smaller cameras. And
Mhm.
I built my 4K is built out way too freaking big.
Mhm.
It's like, and I try to simplify it. And the only way I really can do that is to try to find a lens that has a focal length in quality that the Sigma 18-35 has. Cause I love that lens. It's
Mhm.
kind of like a joke lens. And I don't know if you're part of the Facebook groups, but everybody always makes fun because everyone with the 4K
Oh,
or 6K
yeah.
has the 18-30.
18, yeah.
Well, there's good reason too, but yeah, I need to find a replacement for that. But
Well,
I
speaking
don't know.
of, making things easier, that's one of the big reasons you got you ordered the FX6, right?
Yes, I did. I bought me a Sony FX6. Well, in theory, I bought it right because I don't
Yeah.
have it. So, but yeah, yes, I bought that. Has it been 2 months?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Mhm.
Yeah, I ordered it 2 months ago.
Yeah.
2 months ago, I ordered the thing, and I had literally like wedding after wedding after wedding after wedding this weekend. Every weekend we had two this last weekend, so I was like, this is one of the busiest times of year for us, and
Mhm.
I was so excited to have this camera to simplify some things for me with autofocus and all. And here I am about to wrap up my last one next weekend for the month and
Still don't have
still
it.
fighting with the 4K. But yeah. Yeah, I'm super stoked for that now. When I actually get it. But uh autofocus and like things like that. Like autofocus would just be a godsend to me right now. I know I see this all the time. And I bet there's some filmmakers out there who are like, "Why do you need autofocus? You
Yeah.
actually use it."
Ugh.
Yes, I'm going to use it. Good. I got to hire someone to pull focus. That's money that I could take towards something else on set or somebody else doing
Right.
something more useful when there's technology that I can utilize that can do that for me and do it well. And I mean, especially when we're talking about like gimbal work, if I have the RS2 and I have a lens that has a 1.4 or 1.8, whatever, super shallow, try holding focus at a 1.8
Mm-hmm.
while moving a gimbal around and see if you can do that. Yeah. You're probably not gonna do it well unless it's super, super precise and you got markers here and here. You got a focus puller.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's gonna pull from here to here when I make this movement from point A to point B, which is how they do it in Hollywood. I know, but I don't have that crew, you know.
Right.
So
And do you know how many people that say, "Oh, what do you need autofocus for? Why are you going to use that? You're not a real filmmaker." You know how many of those people probably actually use autofocus at points in their time, different
if it's
points.
there, it's really useful. It's
Yeah, yeah.
if it can be used well. Yeah, and that's something that if the pocket if any of the pockets had autofocus, it would be game changing. It doesn't have to be the best autofocus,
Mhm.
just the autofocus. Because even for interviews, just even when someone move around, like I could still have that shallowness, but that would be just nice.
Mhm.
That was the main reason I bought it was, I mean, the 6K almost checks every box for me, but I wanted something with autofocus first off. I wanted better battery life, and ergonomics have been the biggest thing for me because this 4K has been such a pain for me. Like I just discussed earlier with the battery and the lens, and I'm trying to balance it out, and it becomes way too heavy once it's balanced. Trying to find that balance and weight is hard because you do want some weight, like you had said earlier,
Mhm.
but too much weight. It's just, man, I'm running around way too much with this thing, and I do a lot of weddings. Trying to slow back on those, honestly. I'll talk about that'll be another episode, but we're trying to wean them off a little bit. But weddings and a lot of my stuff, I would love to focus more on lighting than I would
Mhm.
be worrying about the camera, making sure it's powered and making sure that there's just, I don't know. I almost baby the 4K
Mhm.
that's powered, no autofocus. But another reason was uh, E-mount lenses. Already have them because I've been shooting E-mount for longer than I had Black Magic
Oh
and
yeah, I was gonna
Caitlin.
say longer than what I've
Yeah.
known you for.
Yeah. So, and then Caitlin has E-mount because we do photos, so it makes more sense to invest in E-mounts going forward at this point.
Mhm.
And I still can get manual cine lenses for it. That's not out of the question. Um, and full frame actually became a little more important to me because I was using Caitlin's R here and there for my slider and jib shots. Usually it was like my B or C cam on some things where I needed autofocus, but matching them is such a pain. So having the autofocus was just super nice. And the full frame look, there's an aesthetic to it. I think we talked about it on a past episode, but
Yeah, I
there's an
think
aesthetic
so.
to
Yeah.
full frame. Um, and I think there's only like a handful of movies in Hollywood that are actually filmed on full frame.
Mhm.
So, like, you don't need full frame at all to be a filmmaker. You don't need full frame to make a beautiful film. You don't need
Right.
it. Like, you're not going to look amateur at a Super 35.
Definitely
And
not.
no. Um, and if you actually watch movies, how many times do you see a super shallow depth of field?
Mhm.
And for me, I do a lot of the corporate stuff, and
Mhm.
I'm starting to get more into narrative filmmaking now and documentary stuff. And so and YouTube like this right here. If you're watching on YouTube, and if you're just listening, it is on YouTube. If you want to go watch it, the Creative Talk on YouTube, just type it in. You should be able to find it. Anyways,
The creative
the
talk.
the Creative Talk podcast. Once again, that is THE. But um, so I need a camera that is very versatile.
Mhm.
Um, Originally, I was like, I went for the 6500. Like, I want a professional cinema camera. I need a professional cinema camera that's gonna make movies for me. So, and the 4K and all of the Pocket, all of Blackmagic cameras. I mean, these are proper cinema cameras. Well, probably not all of them. I know they have some other things, but it needs a focus puller. It
Mhm.
needs someone who's going
For
to be
sure.
coloring after. It needs it needs all this stuff, which I'm still going to shoot my film on this camera because I do have some cine lenses and I want it shot in that way. I
Mhm.
will have people there to help shoot it, and that's not a problem for me. But for like when we're talking business, I need cameras that are going to be quick and I can have quick turnaround stuff, good image quality, and not spend too much time on certain things where I need to set up or reconfigure the room. Because maybe if I really need to get in and out real quick, I could just blow that background out real blurry, and the full frame's going to make that better. But with YouTube, the serious work, and basically it's just say YouTube content creation, quick turnaround stuff, and then like stuff I need to take my time on. The FX6 has that for me. The quick turnaround stuff. I can use S-Cinetone. I can run XLR camera or mic right into the camera. And I've heard the preamps sound great. Obviously, I don't have it. I don't know that, but I'm pretty picky about that stuff. So I'm really going to run that through its paces. And then I can still shoot log, and RAW is an option too on it, which that is a downfall. I am losing 12-bit RAW, and I'm going down to 10-bit, but I don't know how much it matters. I hear 10 bits plenty. I don't know. Have you ever handled 10-bit?
What's that, sorry?
Have you ever handled 10-bit footage before?
I don't believe so.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much I really like to push my stuff around, and I have a lot of fun with that. So hopefully I don't find any drawbacks to 10-bit. But I can shoot RAW if I want, but I have to have an external recorder, which is I'm not really I don't know. I'm not really looking into that right now. But so I'll be able to shoot log 10-bit and for the stuff I really want to take my time on that. I have autofocus, but that's the thing is you don't have to use autofocus. You can turn autofocus off on a camera that has it, but you can't turn it on a camera that doesn't.
Right.
So I have the option. And then the little I forget what the batteries are called. The Canon. Oh my gosh, I forget what they're called. I just ordered one. Whatever the little Canon batteries that the Sony so FX6 takes. I've heard you get about over an hour. I think it's an hour and a half, and I think it's 3 hours on the larger ones.
Oh,
so
really?
Like, that's awesome to get that on the little one.
Yeah.
But I went ahead, and I already showed you, but I ordered the whole Tilta kit for the FX6.
Yeah, and you already got that in what was like a month ago?
I think it was longer than that. I think I bought it the same week I bought my FX6, but now I can put my V-Lock on it too if I need. But I just love that was one thing. When I bought that FX6, I was like, okay, what do I need with it? Outside of media cards, which are ungodly expensive. But
I remember you showing me. Oh.
Yes. I was like, what? I was like, what else do I need with this? And I was like, I can't even come up with an excuse to buy something that I need for it. I don't even know what I need for it. You know what I mean? It's got everything. It's got the built-in ND too.
Right, yeah.
Which it's actually a variable ND. Have you seen that?
Is that what the FX6 has?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
It's a variable ND, so you can smoothly change it. I watched a guy who was shooting an interview with one, and he said he loved shooting the interview on the FX6 with the variable ND because they had the sun coming in and out, and he was able to slowly adjust throughout the interview back and forth, which is awesome.
What?
You can do it manually too, from what I hear. And it has auto ND. Have you seen that?
No.
You haven't seen? Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's auto ND on the FX6. It will automatically adjust for you because it's variable slowly. And I've seen people do these.
Nice.
Yeah, people do these wicked things where they'll have the aperture shut down and then just open it right away. And the variable ND keeps up so the exposure doesn't change, but you see the background just blur out or come back. It's a really unique effect.
Yeah.
They've done it a couple times in Hollywood, but I don't know how they do it there. I don't know if they have variable NDs in some certain cinema cameras. I just don't know, but I don't know. But yeah, variable ND. Now imagine that at a wedding. Run a gun documentary, just switch it on, and you just literally don't have to worry about your exposure, and it's doing it all for you. And I've heard online everywhere that that's really good, and a lot of people use the crap out of it. So
wow,
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
For YouTube, doing this content creation stuff for myself, I think is nice, or promo material for my own content that I need to put out really quick and make stuff. I think it's gonna be a godsend for that. Just run the camera right in and then flip variable ND on, shoot S-Cinetone, and still get a good image. That's awesome. What else is there to talk about the FX6? I've been waiting on it for so long. I haven't been thinking about it, so I'm trying not to worry about it. Now I'm forgetting.
You've watched every single video there is to watch about it. So it's
I can't find
as soon as you open the box, you're like, okay, I'm excited, but I already know everything about it.
Yeah, I feel like I've had the camera for a year and I have not used it. Well, but that's what sucks.
I guess that brings.
I wanted this camera forever.
I guess that brings us back around. I guess that brings us back around to what another 10 years, what cameras will look like. I think in another 10 years, we're going to be able to control the cameras with our brains, and the camera's just going to do everything else.
I think Elon might be working on that.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's going to put these little chips in our heads.
You just think of the video, it creates it for you, and uploads right from your brain,
right?
built-in Wi-Fi. But I just can't wait to have this FX6 and like the stress that I've had with my 4K when I gotta the things I gotta worry about building it up and the things I gotta worry about when I go on set. And I'm like, okay, am I going to need to go from my giant rig on rails and then I gotta go to a gimbal? So I gotta swap everything out, and that gets very overwhelming. And then I'm worrying about too much stuff on set that like I don't need to be thinking about. I need to be thinking about like what are the questions I need to be asking, or what are the shots that I need? Because I can come up in my head with some of this corporate stuff of like what I need to do, but then I can get to the location and like I do a lot with the hospitals, like nursing and stuff, the CNA training. I'm like uh manufacturing plants and stuff like that. When I go in there, what I don't know what I'm going to walk into. I don't know what the lighting looks like. I don't know the best locations. I don't know what exactly the things are they might be doing that I need to film, or what that looks like. Like what does maintenance on a certain conveyor belt look like? I don't know. Or same with internal training videos, but like I don't know what I'm gonna walk into. So I can't really plan like I would if I had a cinema camera, where you're storyboarding, you're doing narrative stuff. Sorry. When you're doing narrative stuff with a proper cinema camera, it's like you're storyboarding, you generally know you've either scouted or you have an idea of what to do or what you're going to do. There's so much planning in that stuff to where I could get a call and I got to do something then tomorrow or next day or tomorrow or next week. And I don't know what I may be walking into for those things. So those things is where the FX6 is going to shine to me on the business side. Just bump my mic, and it's going to shine for me is like, I can just have it right there. And like, I know I got a lot that's going to work for me and be dependable. And, it's one less thing to worry about, I think. And I don't know how to really explain it unless you own a 4K and you can relate and someone is like building this stuff up. And then like, I see people like, oh, why are you buying the 4K if you're going to rig it up? The point of it is to be a small compact B cam or something. It's like, well, I couldn't afford that then, Yeah. It is my A cam.
And I know you guys said like, think about like dialing back, weddings, but do you think that like the weddings that you'll shoot with it, that'll probably like take a lot of stress off of you? So much actually.
Yes, totally. Like just to be able to run around with that. And then, and I don't even know if I would use a gimbal all the time. Have you on the FX6, have you seen the, oh my gosh, I don't remember what it's called. Oh, what is it called? The software that stabilizes
is it gyro? No.
It's the gyro, oh my gosh, gyroscopic data that it records. But the software, I cannot remember the name of the software. Oh my gosh, it's bugging me. I'm gonna look it up real quick. But the software you can record, and it all the metadata of the way that camera is moving in space is recorded. So you put it in there and it'll stabilize it for you. And I've seen footage, and it obviously crops in. That's where it would have been awesome if the FX6 was 6K. It would have made sense if they did that FX6K.
Right. But, wait, doesn't it shoot like, what is it?
5.9K?
Is it 5.9K? Is that what it does?
No, the FX6 does not. The FX9 shoots 5.9K or 6K and it down reses internally to 4K. You can't actually shoot 6K on the FX9, but it is down res. So some people say they can notice it's a little sharper. Catalyst Browse is what that's called. Catalyst Browse.
Oh, okay. We were off.
Yeah. But Catalyst Browse is the name of the software, but gyroscopic data is what is recorded in the camera.
Yeah.
So it looks awesome the way it stabilizes that. What were we just saying right before I found that? Oh, it's going to bug me because I know I'm going to hear this podcast and know exactly what I was talking about. It's just recorded. Anyways, the stabilization on that would be awesome. And it looks, cropping the FX9 having 6K. No, my A6500 actually is a 6K sensor downres to 4K internally, so it's not.
That's so crazy. That little tiny camera that's, how many years old?
Oh, I don't even know at this point. It still comes with me. I just used it at the wedding. I just used it. Yeah, still comes with me, but it's really not keeping up with my 4Ks, obviously.
Yeah.
Like when I do multicam stuff, it is really tough to match. But I will sometimes just throw that on a gimbal because I have the Sigma 30mm 1.4, and it looks awesome when you have a shallow lens like that. And 30mm is a great focal length for a gimbal, I think. And it's awesome. Now, I can't put a 30mm 1.4 on a Pocket 4K and try to manage. And then not only the fact of having the skill to pull focus while on a gimbal, but having the extra gear like the tilted nucleus or whatever, some kind of follow focus system to buy and add more bulk and weight, and then being able to operate it skillfully.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot there. I just need the FX6 to do things I would normally hire people to do for me, and that takes, so spending the money is going to save me money in the long run, and it's going to save me time, which is money. And yeah, the only things I don't like about the FX6 for me is I don't really see it as a downfall. It's 4K, but having 6K, at least 6K, I don't need 8K or anything. But 6K, I think would be a sweet. I think 6K is the sweet spot to have the extra resolution and just more to work with there. But yeah, it's 4K. It would be amazing if it's 6K. And I don't know yet if 10-bit is going to be not having RAW. I'm so used to having RAW. I don't know if the 12-bit RAW, coming from 12-bit RAW on the 4K, am I going to notice 10-bit? Just 10-bit. It's not RAW, but I don't remember. I don't even remember all the codecs the thing records in. I know it's a is it XAVC? I don't know. I can't remember the name of it now. Oh my gosh, I went through like this whole obsession of researching this stuff, but I should know it. But it's a really good codec to work with. I've heard it's way better. It's not MP4, or anything weird of like other Sony things that are hard to work with. But I did download Mark Bones footage and played with that. I sent you some of that.
Oh yeah,
grades on that. Yeah, just to play with it. I wanted to make sure my computer could still handle this because I'm so used to Blackmagic RAW over all these years, which compresses so well. I mean, I don't know if you've seen that yet, but how the files are not as large as you would think if you shoot in like a Q5 or 12:1 or a little bit higher than that. They can be large, but I mean, even compressed, there's still so much data there, and it's such a small file. It's just, storage. I don't know how much that's got. I don't know what the storage looks like, but media is expensive, super expensive. Those Type B cards I sent you.
Yeah,
remember that? How much?
Were those like
$400 for
400? Yeah. Didn't you find ones that are like half the price or something?
Their CFast Express Type B is what I think it's Type B. Yeah, Type B. I am. Or is it Type A? I think it's Type A. I'm sorry. I'm looking like an idiot here. It's Type A, not B. Type A, CFast Express Type A. And for 160 gig card is $398 for the Sony Tough. But there's not a lot of cheaper brands that I can find that can. I mean, I'm looking right now. ProGrade on B&H is $589 for 260 gigs. But I did find out you only need that to shoot the max.
I do settings on. That,
yeah. So I have it's I don't remember. I got one of the smaller ones. I can't shoot the highest quality or anything right off the bat. I'll probably get one of those later. A couple of those tough cards. CFast. What I have is what do they call it? It's the regular SD card, but it's the higher end ones. Well, there's like double the chippage on the back. I think my memory's so bad.
Same.
Then, yeah, I had everything down on this FX6 forever, but media is going to be expensive. I'm excited to put a mic on the camera and actually use that. For weddings, I'll probably actually use it because I do use sometimes onboard audio while I put a mic on, because sometimes that's useful to me. If someone says something or capture a moment and I didn't have them mic'd or I didn't have that person mic'd, it'd be useful to have that good audio on board camera. I got the 24-70. I'm excited to use for it. I just bought the cheap 50mm lens. I don't know if I told you that. The cheap Sony 50mm. It's like literally the cheapest E-mount lens you
Oh,
can
you
buy.
did? Yeah, yeah. Wasn't it
I'm
like,
curious to try it.
was it a couple $100 or was it like, was it cheaper than
Yeah.
that?
Oh, I think I got I had like a gift card too, so I think it was $200, and I think I paid like 120 for it or something because I had like this gift
Okay.
card that I forgot about or something like that. But yeah, I was like, oh, I'm gonna grab this lens because so the thing is, I should have had my FX6 when I ordered it. It was estimated October 4th. And here we are recording on
October 18th.
18th, and then I reached out twice to B&H, which they've been awesome talking to them. I like them, but they estimated, well, it will probably have it. Oh, what was the second date? They said it was like around. Yeah, they said it was around October 4th, and they'll probably ship it out a couple of days after that. And then I asked them again. I was like, hey, or October 4th was coming up, and I was wanting to know because some of the work I had coming up, I was like, I kind of was hoping to have this by now, like or before or at some point the week of the 4th, and I was booking these jobs. I was like, okay, the FX6 would be kind of cool to have for these, or kind of need them for this. Because I don't need them. I always I have my 4Ks, but so I was asking, like, is there any update I can get, like an estimated window? Because if I know I'm not going to have it for a while, I'll just rent one, I guess, for now. But then they told me it'd be October 15th is when they'll have it, or 14th. What did I say? 14th or 15th?
I think so. I think you said 15th, yeah. Because that was
15th,
Friday.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it ship that day? And they said, well, no, it's got a couple days to process. Well, the 15th was a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, they're probably not processing on the weekend. I know they don't operate on the weekend. So I'm assuming today they're processing it. And tomorrow, I guess, let's give them tomorrow just in case they'll process it. So I hope it ships by Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it's FedEx 2-day shipping, it says, but FedEx has been horrible lately. So
yeah, it's not been consistent.
No. So in theory, I should have it before this upcoming weekend. Should. But I don't know. I'm not going to count on it. I'm not going to hold my breath. But, and when I was going to rent one too, they're still booked out to like the end of the month. So I was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I don't want to rent one. And then by the time I get it, mine comes in. And then I just spent a couple $100 on whatever. But because I would just need the body because I got everything I need for it. The lenses, the batteries, the cards. I wouldn't need anything else.
Literally, you're just waiting on the body.
Yeah. I got this empty Tilta cage, which I'm probably not going to use the whole time. The Tilta cage, I wanted to have if I wanted to go take the top handle off and add something a little lighter, or if I needed to add something else to the side of it or something. Wireless, like wireless audio systems or something like that. But
well, whoever's watching or listening to this, let's root Austin on, and hopefully he gets his his FX6 by the end of this week.
I hope so. Then I'll have to do like a part 2 because I can't talk from experience with it. But
yeah,
when I do get it, I want to have you over and we can walk on down around in town here, and there's a park. We can just go on this walk and get some test footage, and then we can talk about it, and we can have footage for this.
Yeah, we'll have an episode where we do side by side footage of the FX6 versus the 6K Pro.
Yeah, I am really curious to see like image quality next to each other. We probably can't do 1-for-1 lenses, but we'll get close enough, close as possible, and that'll be really fun to do. I really am curious to see like image quality wise of like where they stack up, especially when I'm talking about the 12-bit RAW next to 10-bit.
10-bit, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, which, dang it, I forget the codecs on that, but yeah, I'm super stoked for it, and I think it's gonna be. I mean, it truly is my dream camera that I've had. It's been on top of my list for a year now, and that hasn't changed. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it because there's just too much that's getting in my way here, and I just keep dropping money. I keep dropping money to my 4Ks to try to make them usable and make them a little more easier. And then like they got easier, but then I started dropping more of like, okay, I still need a way to pull focus here, or I need a better monitor for this, or I need this top handle is just kind of hurting my hand, or this rubber's peeling on this one. So I have so many top handles, but so I don't even want to add up everything I put into both my 4Ks because I shoot 2 like all the time. They always come with me. I try to keep one stripped down because I use it for that purpose, but so I'm keeping them. They will definitely be my B and C cams, but the FX6 is going to be my new A cam for sure. I may keep a 4K, for YouTube put up in here I'm not sure yet, but so I think the FX6 would be nice to have, just autofocus for that stuff. But I just can't wait to easy up my life here with that. And that's the main reason I wanted to go that way. I actually was looking at the red Komodo, but like I said, there's too many. That's not even full frame, and it does have autofocus, but it's obviously not good, and it's the exact same price. If the Komodo was cheaper, if that was around say 3,000 or 4,000, I probably would have went with the Komodo.
Yeah,
but probably would have, because I love that body style. That's another thing I didn't even talk about, was ergonomics of the FX6. Was the FX6 is just, I don't know, I love that body. It's kind of got that old school, like, what is like Super 30 or Super 8 film, Super 16. I don't know what those cameras were called. The old like, I don't know. It reminds me of this old school camera.
Yeah,
like this modern body, because it's kind of longer. Looks like one of those long cameras
with the handle. Yeah, yes, great. Yep.
And then and I think they do it with like the Alpha line in general, like all the Alphas. How they have that really, I don't know, they have that like good design between an old school camera but modernized. I think they got those little hard angles, hard sides, and it kind of reminds me like the old Pentax, shoot film, just film cameras in general. I think it kind of look like that, and I've always loved that style. How they I don't know. I love Sony's look and style on that. I do love the Cube style way better about like the Komodo. We have the FX6 and the Komodo style. I would absolutely love that, but the FX6 will do. It'll definitely do for now.
Yeah.
And, I just can't wait for it. Well, I feel like there's something else I want to talk about with it, but I don't remember what it was. I'll definitely be talking more about it on here for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, stay tuned, and hopefully by our next one, hopefully we're filming in person, and hopefully Austin has hopefully he'll actually be filming with an episode with it.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
All right. Well, we will see you guys later.
All right. Oh, I do want to say before we go.
Yeah, just kidding.
That just kidding. That's probably it on time on this one. The next episode, if everything goes to plan, will be in person outdoors, because we've talked about doing these like scenic. We've done it before where we're out like a picnic table at a park, but we kind of want to find like scenic areas and do some remote podcasts where we just kind of meet up somewhere with this cool scenery and just chill outside and watch the sunset. But I just want to give a heads up, because I don't know what the audio quality will be like. Obviously, it'll be good, but I don't know what the listening experience will be like, unless you like nature sounds, because we will be outdoors. Maybe to hear birds chirping. Hopefully, it's not too windy or stormy.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how far we decide to drive to do this. Who knows? Who knows where it'll be?
We're gonna be in another country next week.
Yeah.
We're out in Norway. We're here in Norway.
I'm down for it.
Yeah. I thought it mixed up a little bit, so just thought we'd give a heads up on that. If it happens, if not, whatever. We're still there still will be another episode.
We will be taking this seriously, people. Don't worry.
Yes, we do take it serious.
Oh, yeah, we do. For sure.
Alrighty. Well, we will talk to you in the next one.
All right. See you, everybody.